Hello, dear friends. Today is our topic summarizing and presenting data in the research writing. We will talk about categories, tables, graphs, and means or averages. To summarize and organize your data involves three steps. First, categories must be selected in which the raw data can be summarized. Secondly, once the categories are selected, the data are coded, that is, they are sorted into the categories. Finally, the data are presented in the form which facilitates the drawing of conclusion. In order to summarize and present data, we use tables, graphs, or charts, average and percentages to calculate. And in order to so the data must be first categorized. Once the data are in hand, it's possible to determine what the extremes were in and what the average was. Both of these help to construct categories. An average or the mean is calculated by totaling the measures, number of hours or result on examination, and dividing by the number of measures. In our case, it's students, as you can see in the example. The hypothesis guiding this research asserts that there is a relationship between the amount of time spent in revision and the result in an examination. This means that the way in which you present your data needs to show the relationship between the two variables, time spent in revision and examination result. There are several ways to do this. These are presented in the following figures. In order to arrive at the numbers to put in the table in figure 9.2, you have to cross-tabulate your data. To cross-tabulate means to put each case, in this instance each student, where it fits in the table. Sometimes it's better to present the table of result as percentages. There are two ways of doing this. In all tables giving the result as percentage, it's very important to indicate the total number upon which the table is based. As a general rule, if you are presenting your data in tables using percentages, it's best to percentage the independent variable across the dependent variable, as shown in the figure 9.7. In this way, you display the impact of the independent variable on the distribution of the independent variable, which is, of course, what you are trying to show. In order to prepare a graph, it's necessary to perform steps 1. It's selecting categories, and step 2, coding the data, and summarization and presentation. Bar graphs can also be used to present percentage data. The essential feature of a bar graph is that the size of bar be proportional to the size of variable. The pie chart is not particularly suited to the presentation of the type of data with which we have been dealing. It's much better for depicting multiple responses or many categories or sources, when the intent is to show the proportion of each relative to the whole. Pie charts are in general hard to construct accurately and very difficult to compare. And for this reason, they are not usually used in scientific reporting, but only in journalistic reporting like newspapers and magazines. A scattergram is produced by pinpointing each instance of measurement in a grid defined by the two axes of a graph. The two lines along which the units are marked are called axes, and the space between them is defined by the grid formed by the intersecting lines drawn from each unit point along the two axes. The first step in constructing a scattergram is to decide on the scale of units to be used on each axis. Data are not usually categorized and coded before constructing a scattergram. The scattergram is constructed by putting a dot on the grid in the place defined by the two pieces of data for each student, as shown in the table. A line graph shows the relation between two variables by connecting the data points on a grid defined by two axes with a line beginning at the left and moving to the right. To construct a line graph, you must first select categories for your data, then code the data into categories. Next, the third one, select a scale of units for each axis. The fourth is plot the data points, and finally, link the data points with lines. Means or averages. Means or averages are often used to compare groups. Means are a useful way to summarize and present data. The average performance of groups may be compared, or the average rates of consumption, or the average incidence of a particular event. Here our presentation comes to end. Thank you very much for your attention.